right, good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock, and so to respect everyone's time, we are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Tess Stovall. I serve as the Executive Director of the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission, and I am the individual who's presiding at this public charter school hearing today. So first, I want to thank Rutherford County Schools first for hosting this hearing, as well as for the work that you've put into the application process. Also want to thank Nova Smart Academy for the work that you've put into the application process. We know this process is lengthy, and by the time you get to the appeal, that you all have been working through this for a very long time. And so we do appreciate all of the efforts that you've put into the work so far, and we really look forward to hearing from both sides today, as well as members of the public. We at the Charter Commission take our responsibility when it comes to charter school appeals very seriously. We understand that it is our responsibility to only approve those schools that will be high quality and to hold our charter schools accountable to the proposed academic plan and the high standards that we have for all students in this state. This appeal is one of 7 that the Charter Commission is hearing during this New Start appeal cycle. We at the Charter Commission consider each appeal independently against what is required in statute. And the Commission will meet in October to make a decision on this and the other 7 appeals that it has before them today. In accordance with Tennessee Code Annotated 4913-108, a charter school whose amended application is denied by a local Board of Education can appeal that decision to the Charter Commission. In this case, Rutherford County Schools denied the amended application for Nova Smart Academy on July 17, 2024. Nova Smart Academy appealed the denial by email to the Charter Commission, which we received on July 29, 2024. Notice of this meeting was posted on the Charter Commission's website. It was published in the Daily News Journal on August the 26th, and information was given to both parties and any individual from the public who was interested in this meeting, as this meeting is a public meeting. Pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated 4913-108, in an appeal, the Charter Commission shall conduct a de novo on-the-record review of the proposed charter school's application to determine if the local Board of Education's decision was contrary to the best interests of the students, the LEA, or the community. To fulfill the Commission's responsibility in an appeal, in addition to this public hearing, a committee of qualified individuals conduct a de novo, fresh review of the amended application. In using the Department of Education's scoring rubric, will independently rate the application. The committee will also conduct a capacity interview with the proposed school leader and governing board. That review committee will prepare a report, which then I will consider as a part of making my recommendation to the Charter Commission. The Charter Commission will then meet to review my recommendation, and my recommendation will include the findings of this hearing, the review committee's report, a comprehensive review of the full record, including the LEA's documentation, and any public comment that we receive as a part of this process. Pursuant to Commission policy, the Commission must consider the Executive Director's recommendation, but it is not bound by that recommendation. If the Commission finds that the application meets or exceeds the metrics outlined in the Department of Education's scoring rubric, and that the approval is in the best interests of the students, the LEA, or the community, then the Commission may approve the charter school. If the Commission approves the charter school application, then the Commission will become the authorizer and LEA of that school. And that is unless the charter school and the LEA mutually agree for the LEA to remain the authorizer. In this appeal, the Commission will make a decision on the Nova Smart Academy application during a meeting on Thursday, October 17th. This meeting will be held in Nashville. It is open to the public. It will be live streamed. So details about attending the meeting, watching it online, and the timing and location of that meeting are available on the Commission's website. I'm going to do a quick overview of the agenda for today, and then we will get started with presentations. So we will begin with opening presentations from both the school district and Nova Smart Academy. Each party will have up to 15 minutes for an opening statement, and then I will take an opportunity to ask questions of both parties. Then we will move into public comment. As shared previously with both parties, only those individuals that have registered in advance will be recognized today for a public comment. When we get to that point of the agenda, we will pull up a slide that will list the names of the individuals who we will be calling on to give a public comment. Each individual will come up to this podium. You will have up to 2 minutes to give a public comment. There will be a light and a buzzer on the podium that will let you know when your time has expired. We would ask that you give your name and some basic information about your relation either to the school district or the application so that we can contextualize your comments and where they're coming from. If you were unable to sign up in advance to give a public comment, or we would like to provide a written comment, the commission is accepting written comments in this appeal for this next week. On the back of the agenda, which are on the chairs in the back of the room, there's a QR code that would take you directly to our written comment portal. You're also welcome to leave any written comments with a member of the team today. It is important to note that once we get to public comments, that if there is an individual who's not able to be here, we cannot have an individual who subs into that place. This is merely so that we are able to apply our public comment process fairly across all 7 appeals. We do have 19 individuals who signed up to speak today. I was informed earlier that there is 1 individual speaking on support of the applicant who's unable to be here, so we will call 18 names. We have 8 people who've signed up to support the district's decision to deny the application, and we have 9 people to support the district's decision, and we now have 9 people to support approving the application. At the conclusion of public comment, we will move into closing statements. Each party will be given up to 10 minutes for a closing statement. I do want to note we have staff members here who are taking notes. We are recording this hearing. This hearing will be provided to our commissioners who, as a part of their record in reviewing this appeal. So we are now ready to start opening presentations. I will first turn to representatives from Rutherford County Schools. As you begin speaking, if you could introduce yourself for the record, and we will let you know when your 15 minutes are up.
Good afternoon, Charter Commission staff, and welcome to Rutherford County Schools. I'd also like to take a moment to welcome Dr. Jeremy Sager and his Novus Academy team. It really has been a pleasure working with all of you throughout this process. I'm Jeff McCann. I'm the coordinator of choice in charter schools for Rutherford County. With me today, I have Dr. Jimmy Sullivan, who is our director of schools, and Dr. Kelly Chastain, our chief academic officer for Rutherford County as well. So we're here today to talk about the decision that our school board recently reached to deny the amended application for Novus Smart Academy due to what they perceive as a negative fiscal impact. So I'm here to provide you with some details on how they reached that decision and what their thinking was. So let's start out by examining the overall fiscal impact of charter schools in Rutherford County, because this does play a part in their decision. Charter school funding estimates resulted in over $14 million being diverted from the 24-25 RCS school budget. And that really affects us because we've historically grown by over 1,000 students each year. We're known as a fast growth school district, and our 24-25 enrollment grew by 1,037 students. The result is $10.9 million in funding that we will actually not receive until after school year 24-25 is over. That's typically how the state funds schools. We don't see that money until next year. But these students have to be served now. So you take that $14 million that was diverted to the 3 existing charter schools in Rutherford County, plus that nearly $11 million in funding for new students that we will not realize until next year, resulting in a total financial impact of $25 million for RCS. That really got the attention of our board members, that $25 million figure. Was very impactful to them. Like I said, being a fast growth district results in similar deficits every year. We face this budget deficit for up to 1,000 students pretty much every year in the past several years, and we'll look at those enrollment trends here in just a minute. Novus Smart Academy would require an additional $1 million in budgeted expenditures each year that they are open. That $1 million doesn't sound like a whole lot when compared to $25 million impact. But by the time they reach full capacity of 984, which is their prediction, the impact will be over $10 million. In addition, there are other funding components that we did not realize we would have to undertake as far as federal funding goes. Originally, we were led to believe that there would be no additional funding provided to a new charter in its first year other than the TISA funds, but we were recently told otherwise by the State Department of Ed. And those numbers, though, they're undetermined as yet because we have to figure out how to address those. And we've gotten not a whole lot of guidance from the state on that so far. So we don't have that figured into the impact, but that is yet an additional financial impact for our school board. Now take a look at our enrollment patterns, and you can see going all the way back to 2020, we've grown 1,000 students plus a year, bringing us from 46,870 students in 2020 to 51,983 in the current school year. And the projection for 25-26 is 53,022 students. That's an increase of about 2% every year. So you can see we are growing rapidly, and we're really struggling to keep up with that budgetarily. Some other things to think about. The current charter school enrollment for the three that we have right now are 400 in our 2 Rutherford County authorized charters, and approximately 441 Rutherford County students in our state authorized charter. Now I know their enrollment is a little higher than that, but they've accepted students from out of district. We're only talking about Rutherford County students here. So that's a total of about 881 students that are enrolled. And you would think that sounds pretty good. That should result in a reduction in funding or a reduction in expenses for Rutherford County schools. But that is simply not the fact. No Rutherford County school has lost enough students to the charter schools to result in a reduction in any funding, especially when it comes to employee positions. And salaries and benefits are by far the largest portion of our school budget, as they are with most any school budget. Blackman Elementary was really the only school to lose significant numbers. Right now they are sitting at 71 students less than predicted enrollment, and we do think that is because of charter schools. But again, it did not impact their staffing or the expenses for that school, including textbooks and materials, which were based on last year's enrollment, so there was no reduction in funding there. Additionally, the 2 charter schools that currently are operating in Smyrna and Laverne have struggled to reach their full capacity. They're only seating about 400 students between the 2 of them now, where their projections were anywhere from 520 to 580 is what they'd hoped to open with. So they've not reached their full capacity. And again, this is the same area that Novus is proposing to locate their charters, Smyrna and Laverne. And by and large, Rutherford County schools have experienced really that rapid increase in our charter school footprint these past couple of years. It's hit us pretty fast and heavy. We went from 0 to 3 charter schools seemingly overnight, which really has created a hardship for our district in both budgeting and funding. Now, this kind of addresses one of the questions that was on the list of things you were going to ask, but I think it plays a part here, so I'm going to talk about it now. We only have one current school in the Smyrna-Laverne area that is over capacity. Browns Chapel right now is at about 115% of their identified capacity. And we have one other in the area, Stewart's Creek Elementary, which is right at 100%. But with the opening of a new school, rezoning for 25-26, the year that Novus intends to open, forecast no K-5 schools in the area, nor in the entire district, to be at or above capacity. So the opening of the new school is going to significantly reduce the overcrowding or the perceived overcrowding in the Smyrna-Laverne area. And then finally, the statement provided by our school board as to their reasoning for this decision. It's right here in front of you. But basically it says the Rutherford County Board of Education rejected a new charter school application from Novus Smart Academy K-8 because of the fiscal impact it would have on the operations budget. Specifically, the new school would result in a budget deficit of approximately $1 million because the district would be required to fund the school on projected enrollment instead of actual enrollment like other public schools are funded. And that right there is the root of the argument and the root of the decision that the board made. It's basically centered on the method of funding that Tennessee as a whole chooses to fund public and charter schools. We don't feel like it's a very level playing field. And at the present time, we're being asked to provide over $14 million to 3 charter schools, one that's not even an RCS authorized school. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that opening statement. I will now turn to representatives from Novus Smart Academy for your opening statement. Same ask, please introduce yourself for the record as you begin speaking, and you will have up to 15 minutes.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Jeremy Sager, and I am the CEO lead founder for Nova Smart Academy, representing the side to bring this school into the Rutherford County community. We respectfully submitted to the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission, and we are excited about this opportunity still to partner with Rutherford County Schools as we're pushing to bring Nova Smart Academy into this community. So, our mission and vision is that Nova Smart Academy's mission is to provide all scholars access to rigorous curricula and high-quality academic instruction that fosters a love for learning, embraces innovation and creativity, and encourages personal growth to thrive in their chosen college and career paths, making a positive impact on society. Our vision is to inspire all scholars to unlock their full potential through extraordinary learning experiences that lead to successful college journeys and fulfilling careers, empowering them to make a positive impact on society and to achieve extraordinary success in all aspects of life. So Nova Smart Academy's key design elements are a 2-teacher classroom model. That's 1 teacher to 12 scholars, with blended learning instruction and intervention, research-based whole child SMART approaches using asset-based learning for the arts and electives, character education, inquiry-based learning for science and research, and project-based learning for math and technology. We are also offering an extended school day and year from August to June with diverse learning paths for enrichment, retention plan for grade 3 scholars, and required tutoring in summer school. This will help with learning loss reduction and create a safe learning environment for families who cannot afford summer programming, leaving their kids at home when school is no longer in session. Our vision of a Novus graduate once they leave our school is that they will be college ready, career ready, community ready, and character steady. Nova Smart Academy is governed by a board of directors made up of high-quality expert professionals in community service outreach, DEI, education, facilities, finance, fundraising, grant writing, legal expertise, management, and organizational experience. We have Ms. Dominique Anderson who is on our academics committee, Dr. Marissa Kanata, who is our academics committee chair, Ms. Celeste Davis, which is our board secretary and development committee member, Mr. Brian Bradshaw, governance committee member, Ms. Paula Collick, board chair, governance committee chair, Mr. Charles Frazier, board vice chair, governance committee chair. We also have Mr. Dwight Gordon, who is our treasurer and finance committee chair, Mr. Daniel Kadeba, which is our finance committee member, Dr. Regina Verdon, academics committee member, Ms. Jantrice Johnson, Development Committee Chair, Ms. Trevani Mackey, Development Committee Chair, and of course, myself, Jeremy Sager, ex officio, CEO, leader, founder. Just a little bit about me, my career success and background. I was a 2023 BES Fellow at Build, Excel, Sustain. I led secondary literacy as a specialist for the Schools of Innovation at MNPS. I was a principal in Nashville, achieved TVOS Level 5 in 1 school year with reward school status, and I was named a 2022 Public Charter School Changemaker by the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools. I have over 15 years in education, as you can see, and with my background, I also have licenses and certifications that support public education as an English teacher, an administrator, and superintendent. So when we look at Rutherford County Schools data in Laverne and Smyrna, the Tennessee Department of Education report card data from 22-23 school year showed that Rutherford County schools outperformed the state, which is great, in math proficiency and English proficiency, and the graduation rate as well. However, on average, 61 to 66% of scholars in Laverne and Smyrna during this time performed below the state average in math, to include all 3 high schools, and 64% of scholars below the statewide average in ELA, to include 1 high school. Nova Smart Academy is aligned to Rutherford County Schools' strategic priority to provide early interventions that address scholars' academic needs and support the whole child. We see an opportunity to provide high-quality academic instruction and to remain a partner in this community. What you see here is an extension of that data for middle school and high school performance during that school year as well. When we think about the disproportionality of school experience, data implied this deficit derives from the disproportionality for students of color. Generally, scholars of color in these communities have less opportunity to enroll in advanced placement classes. Black scholars face suspension more than twice as often as white scholars. The levels of segregation between white scholars and scholars of color are significant, and both Black and Hispanic scholars face achievement gaps when compared to white scholars. So, community engagement and school enrollment strategies. One of the things that we truly want to focus on is making sure that we commit to inclusive practices so that all members of our school community feel known, loved, and respected. So we have key community connections. Tennesseans for Student Success allowed us, with their partnership, to have access and connection with over 1,900 families within a 5-mile radius of our proposed school location, who will have a 5-year-old ready to attend kindergarten in August 2025. We have 6 churches within Laverne and Smyrna communities that we've partnered with as well, one of which will be our location for our proposed school site. We have a letter of support from Mayor Jason Cole of Laverne, which you will see in our application. Also, we have a strong partnership with Motlow State Community College, who has also allowed us to host some of our events on their campus. We have also had a connection and a relationship with 17 preschools and early childhood facilities within Laverne and Smyrna. As you can see, I was pictured in one of those, reading books to those during some of the events. We have over 459 connections with members of Rutherford County using our Power Mapping Strategic Plan, over 300 surveys in support of Nova Smart Academy, over 280 petition signatures, and over 65 community events that we have hosted and attended. Community feedback has given us and showed us that families are disappointed with the district-wide rezoning plan and overcrowded classrooms. Some teachers do not have classrooms due to limited space and capacity in their overcrowded school buildings. Families want high-quality exposure to college and career pathways beginning in elementary school. Scholars and families, teachers and school leaders, and staff members want to feel known, loved, and respected. Teachers desire psychological safety and authentic support. Families want extended learning experience for their scholars and character education that will develop their social skills, and there are equal resources with inequitable practices in underserved school communities. These are a few parent testimonials, but one I truly want to highlight is that I've been trying to get my child in Thurman Francis for years, but we are always denied every year. My child meets all the qualifications to get in, but there are no available spaces. Our only other option is Smyrna Middle School, and I am not in the space to pay for private school. Although my child will not be able to attend the school, I wish you had another middle school my child could go to now that is better suited for my child. So we have this partnership with EdConnect, which helps us to keep options open. And so we want parents to know all their school options, examine the schools that they are interested in, to explore the schools by scheduling visits to those schools and pursuing all options and trying not to put hopes in just one option. We have a strategic plan based on the new timeline we're going through the commission, and we have started with phase 1 in September and October, which we are launching awareness and a campaign outreach to our targeted community. This includes pop-up events and generating interest to get appeals and support. Phase 2 is engaging activities through November and December with implementing interactive pop-up events to encourage at least 144 applicants for submission. This puts us at least 150% for our enrollment goal during Thanksgiving and with Santa. And then for phase 3, we have confirmation and celebration. And this is where we confirm partnerships, implement pop-ups with recruitment, and host a recognition of enrollment celebration with open house. And then phase 4 is our summer outreach, where we maintain these connections with at least 96 families, in which at least 44 parents on our wait list, where we can continue to recruit as necessary. And we will host a back-to-school block party on Saturday, July 26th, and scholar orientation July 29th through the 31st. And so this is more of a detailed plan, but of course, we are in the space of the commission appeal and conducting our community outreach. Also, as you can see, we will conduct science stations, art stations, have handouts and collections. We've already been in that space. And then also the commission vote on Thursday, October 17th. In phase 2, we will continue to have events, volunteers, of course, from our team, and then our families who have been influential in this space. Then also making sure that we have the right materials for these events that we have in place. That includes Simon Science Spectacular, things that children love, Tech Takeover Roadshow, Artful Adventures. The purpose of these engaging pop-up events is to go over 144 applicants for kindergarten. We have partnerships with 17 preschools, as mentioned before, and daycare sites, and we'll collaborate to host these pop-up with our parents. Phase 3, confirmation and celebration. As you can see, we will continue to confirm enrollments, have monthly events, and celebrate success. And also with arts and crafts extravaganza, sport spectacular, science exploration day. We will proudly celebrate our impact on the community and claim our role as a valuable asset. We will firmly establish our presence and contribution, making a lasting mark in this community. And so as you can see in phase 4, we will have a family fun fair, story time in the park, and outdoor movie nights. And these are all a part of our community outreach plan to increase our enrollment efforts. And then, of course, we did participate in the Simply Smyrna celebration that was hosted by Carpe Artista, had a great turnout, had great engagement with the community, and we want to continue with that by host our own back-to-school block party, which is literally a block away from where this event was hosted for our families when we go into day 1, before we're going into day 1 in August. Facilities. Our facilities will provide a safe and equitable space for scholars to learn and grow in classrooms that are not overcrowded, and will ensure every scholar is known, loved, and respected as we employ a ratio of 1 teacher to 12 scholars across grade levels. So our proposed location is 102 Ridley Street, Smyrna, Tennessee. We have a facilities task force, and we have added Josh Fulmer with Parks Realty, who was also influential in supporting 2 of the 3 schools who have facilities options in this community. Chris Hill is also with Keller Williams. Casey Howard represents Living Truth Christian Center as their facilities operations manager. We have Jan Treese Johnson, who is a board member, but also a commercial real estate agent. Daniel Kadeba, who is a finance member on our team. Ethan Levine, which is with MZA Architecture and our personal architect. John Morse with Chase Construction Group. Keller Williams, of course, our brokerage. And then, of course, myself, Linda Stubblefield with Unlimited Security, and Levelfield Partners, which is a supporting partner. The lease structure will include options to expand the right of first refusal and a tenant improvement allowance. This space has functioned as an educational setting in the past and will accommodate pickup and drop off of transportation zones, buses, and an interior play space and exterior playground. With the new timeline with the commission, we have reset our expectations, which has been led by Ethan Levine. With approval in October 2024, we will begin our facilities planning, construction drawings, and design to end by December. And then we will submit for permits and receive those permits by January 2025. And we will begin construction to end by May 2025. We will deliver the space, receive certificate of occupancy, furniture, fixtures, and equipment, complete IT and telecom installations. In June of 2025 and July 2025, occupy space and begin working, welcoming scholars and families, school-based staff, board of directors, and community members to the space and host our block party. And so the next steps in this phase is to finalize space programs, schedule critical path items, begin pre-construction pricing, and issue our RFPs and RFQs, and begin contracting processes. As it relates to finance, our finance...
I just want to tell you you're about at time, so can you wrap it up? Thank you.
Okay. So Secured funding sources, Charter School Growth Fund, BES, and a CSP grant from the Tennessee Department of Education. We do have pending approval funding sources with the Lewis Calder Foundation and New Schools Venture Fund. Also, we have a contingency plan should we need additional funding through the Charter School Growth Fund, the New Neighbor Group, and Equity Facilities Fund as time goes on.
Thank you very much for that opening presentation. Yes. Appreciate hearing from both parties. We're now going to move into questions that I have for both parties. We're going to start first with Rutherford County Schools. So first question I have for you, Mr. McCann, is that I want to understand how the district arrived at its recommendation to the school board. We noted that the district's review committee did score the application as meets or exceeds standard on the Department of Education scoring rubric. So can you provide us a broad overview of what the review process was like and how the committee ultimately came to the determination that the amended application met the standard of the state's rubric?
Certainly. February 1, 24, RCS received a New Start Charter application from Nova Smart Academy. The RCS Review Committee engaged in a rigorous training and a review process of the full application, including full committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, individual review, submissions of scoring rubrics, capacity interview with members of the Novus team, and several in-person and phone meetings with Dr. Sager and his team to ask questions and provide clarity to some of the things that we had questions about. On April 16th, I presented the committee findings to the board, and our recommendation was to deny the initial application with stipulations for resubmission due to all three of the areas being rated as only partially meets standards. We had some concerns. These are our main concerns. Weren't all, but the most significant concerns we had at that time were we felt there was an inadequate service plan for special populations. There appeared to be a lack of community support with only 72%, or with 72% of the respondents saying they were not in support of this charter school on our public survey. We had some safety and security concerns, not only in the plan, but also with the facility itself. We felt the timeline for making the necessary renovations to the proposed facility there in Smyrna was very, very tight, and we didn't think they could accomplish what they needed to accomplish in that short amount of time. There were some shortcomings in the budget worksheet. Ironically, they were shortcomings that were as a result of the formulas in the state template budget sheet not working correctly, and the figures did not pull as they should, but we felt like they should have caught that before it was submitted. But they were able to correct that eventually. And we also had concerns over sufficient funding due to the low enrollment in the very beginning, particularly in the areas of some promised stipends and supplements for staff and tutoring opportunities that were not evident in the budget, but they were called for in the plan. So on April 18th, 2 days later, the Board of Education voted as recommended by the review committee to deny the initial applications with stipulations for resubmission. Those stipulations were provided to Dr. Sager along with that letter stating their decision. And on May 20th, they resubmitted an amended application. Again, the Charter Committee spent the next 2 months reviewing very carefully that amended application in the same manner they did with the initial one, except minus the capacity interview, which doesn't typically take place in an amended review. Then, on July 16th, the Board of Education was presented with the Reviews Committee recommendation to, this time, approve the amended application, and it was noted that all required stipulations were met and addressed according to the committee's opinion. All three areas of the application were rated now as meets or exceeds the standards because they did go a long way to address all the concerns that we had, and we had several conversations back and forth during that process, and with some additional recommendations and revisions that needed to be made, and they addressed those and they took care of those. So as a result, the committee felt like the application was now a very sound plan, and it met or exceeded all the recommendations in all three areas. However, the Board of Education voted to deny the amended application on the grounds of substantial negative fiscal impact, and in my opening statement I discussed the reasons for such. And then on July 30th, we were notified by the Public Charter School Commission that the Nova Smart Academy had submitted the required documents to appeal the denial of the application to RCS, and which brings us here today.
Thank you very much for that explanation. So my second question is something that you touched on in your opening statement, but I want to make sure I have understanding of what the enrollment trends or projected enrollment trends are for the Smyrna and Laverne area, which is targeted within this application. So can you high-level review for me what are those enrollment trends that you all as a district are tracking? Are there new schools coming online? Are there additional seats needed? What does that area of Rutherford County look like?
Absolutely. Well, right now, two of our most crowded elementary schools are in the Smyrna area, Rock Springs Elementary and Stewart's Creek Elementary. They're both very crowded, and as you saw earlier, Browns Chapel right now is above capacity. So particularly in the Stewart's Creek area, that has been a concern for us for some time now, with the growing population there. However, that was a main reason why Rutherford County elected to build a new elementary school and rezone students starting in 25-26. So that there are no overcrowded, no schools will be at or above capacity at that point. Our average capacity then will be only 84% among all of our elementary schools.
Thank you. And a follow-up question regarding the rezoning plan, because it was mentioned in the amended application, at least feedback from the community or concerns with families around the rezoning plan as a reason why being able to opt into a charter school where you're guaranteed a seat for throughout the middle school career was enticing to families. So can you describe a little bit more what does this zoning plan mean for families and any concerns that the district is addressing around this?
Understood. Unfortunately, that kind of goes along with being a district that grows so rapidly is the need to constantly shift students and rezone to where no one school is bearing the full burden of that, and that no student has to attend an overcrowded school. It's just a part of being just such a high growth area.
Thank you. So I want to shift now into the district's or the Board of Education's argument around substantial negative fiscal impact. And while the district provided a breakdown of the total amount that's being transferred to charter schools, can you speak a little bit more detail about the board's discussion around how it was determined that the impact of opening Nova Smart Academy next year would substantially impact or have an overall detrimental effect to the district's overall health?
Well, they felt like with such a high impact that they were already bearing from the opening of the 3 charter schools that they could not afford even one additional charter school, particularly when the ultimate burden could equal $10 million down the road. They felt like there was just no room in their bare bones budget to spare any more funds than were already being spared.
And the reference to the $10 million is specifically around Nova Smart Academy, or is that the totality of the charter schools?
That's Nova Smart Academy. When they reach that full capacity of nearly 1,000 students, it will result in an impact of $10 million.
Okay, so but the $1 million that was referenced, is that for year one?
That's for year one.
Okay.
And that's for year one. And as they add a grade each year, it's an additional $1 million, as their target is 96 students to add per year.
And so based on your comments as a part of your presentation, you mentioned projected versus actual enrollment in charter schools. As we know in the world of authorizing, that authorizers do true up and get that charter schools are funded on their actual enrollment. Did the board consider that conversation around the fact that you all as a school district will just be funding the actual students that are attending the school?
Well, the conversation focused on the fact that no, we have to fund students and we have to budget those funds based on projected enrollments. And at that time, especially, we had no idea what the actual enrollment was going to wind up being. We assumed it would be as projected because that's what we're told we have to budget those funds for.
So do you all know if your board will be adjusting its budget now that it's seeming that charter school enrollment is lower than you had budgeted for, or how are you all thinking about adjusting your budget and the revenue that you're actually paying out?
I don't think that has been discussed a whole lot lately. Would you speak to that?
If you want to, yeah. Just introduce yourself for the record, Dr. Sullivan.
Dr. Jimmy Sullivan, Rutherford County Director of Schools. So yes and no. So the most previous information we actually have from the Tennessee Department of Education requires us, our original number was 11 million. It was bumped up to 14 million in July. Our county finance director has asked us to take an additional 3 million. We are trying to hold off to see what enrollment numbers actually do.
Okay.
but we're under a private act, and so whatever my county finance director ultimately says is what I will have to do. But we're holding off for right now.
Thank you. Any further questions? Anything else we need? Beth, anything? Mr. McCann, anything else to add to that before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Thank you all so much for those questions. I'm going to now move to Nova Smart Academy for your questions. You're welcome to either answer here or at the podium, whatever is best for you. So I want to talk first about enrollment projections and demand. We've had a lot of conversations thus far about whether or not the areas of Smyrna and Laverne, there's demand for an additional charter school. I will say when we did look at your application, we did find limited specific evidence of community demand within the amended application. So I first would like to understand, how did you determine that there was sufficient demand in the area such that you would meet your enrollment targets?
Good question. So to determine sufficient demand in Laverne and Smyrna communities, we have implemented going strategic methods of collecting data and analyzing this data. Through Tennesseans for Success and Ed Connect, our partners, we were able to conduct a study of the population. What we learned is that, of course, there has been a 3.05% in the population of Laverne, which puts it at about 39,892. In Smyrna, 58,000, which is a 9.78% in that population. We have also conducted a comprehensive study of learning the school-age children within that community, within a 5-mile radius, to understand who we will have access to. And we have access to over 1,900 families, which would help us to reach our enrollment goal of 96 for year one. We have identified performance gaps between subgroups with students with disabilities, EL, economically disadvantaged, and racial ethnic groups as well. Also, there has been an increase of 11% of Middle Eastern families in Laverne alone. And because of this rapid growth and lack of space in existing schools, there is a need and demand for equitable placement of these scholars. So we thought about representation in our school as well for our families that need to see people that look and feel like them on a day-to-day basis. Also, we address that when we think about EL services, making sure that we have an instructional model that will include what it takes to support those students with that increase of 11%. Of course, our community engagement surveys, conducting service and focus groups, which Ed Connect has truly helped us to place a hyper-focus on that. To date, we have 47 intent to enroll forms, and we would have more if we were enrolling across grade levels. So that's just because we did not extend beyond kindergarten. Starting only with kindergarten, we have 47. And we have 280 petition signatures to support that as well. Of course, some of our proposed families are from these 17 preschool connections as well, one of which is a grandparent that will be speaking today. Also, we are in the process with Ed Connect, doing a process of looking at enrollment patterns in the 3 charter schools already in operation, and then also seeing if there are certain specific grades that have wait lists.
So I want to follow up to understand, what is the minimum number of students that the school would need to enroll to deliver its proposed academic model? And then the follow-up is, what does that mean from a contingency, a budget perspective, to ensure you are operating successfully?
So working with our finance team, we broke it down into conservative projection, moderate projection, high projection, and then application projection. So with the conservative projection, that's 83% at 80 students. With moderate projection, that's 96, which is right on target, 100%. And then with our high projection, that's 106 students at 110%. But our goal, again, is to push for 150%, which would put us at at least 144 applicants.
So the minimum number of students you can operate is 80.
Yes.
What does that look like from your academic model? What are the changes that would have to happen in order for you to be able to operate?
The way that we have factored this in is making sure that there are no disservices to our academic model. Before we make any changes to our academic model, all changes will be made within our operations. But nothing will be at a disservice to what we're offering our scholars and families and what we've promised. What that also looks like is tapping in as a last resort to those contingency funds that we have in place. We do have a partnership with the neighborhood group that will provide us up to $1 million as a line of credit. But of course, we have to be in the post-authorization stage to access that process. The other part of that is we would work on with our vendors to defer payments and to set up different cash flow options to make sure that we are meeting budget, especially with payroll and those types of things, and not at a disservice with our students and families.
Thank you. So I'm going to continue into my vein of questioning around finances. You covered this a little bit at the end of your presentation, but I want to dig in a little bit more. So when I was reviewing the budget that was provided as a part of the amended application, we noticed that there is an extremely tight margin in year one of operation. As we know, student enrollment drives the amount of funding that a school would get. And so I want to understand more about how and what contingency funds are available from a philanthropic standpoint to support the school in year one of operations, given the fluctuations of enrollment that we've been discussing.
Yes. So we have secured, for year one, we have secured the CSP grant that will carry us over through years 0 through 2. We also have the Charter School Growth Fund that is secured that will offer us funding in years 0 through 2. The other thing is that with being a part of the seed cohort portfolio with the Charter School Growth Fund, with us meeting enrollment projections and all of those things in our metrics, there are opportunities for additional funding. Also, there's a facilities option that will support us as well. The same thing is true with the Equity Facilities Fund. With a partnership there and knowing that we've met certain metrics, they do offer funding. There is a Leaders of Color initiative specifically with funding set aside to support startup years for schools in this space, which would be year one for Nova Smart Academy. And then, of course, we have that line of credit through the new neighbor group.
So to confirm, CSP grant year 0 and 1, that's from the State Department of Education.
There's 0, 1, 2.
0, 1, 2. And then the Charter School Growth Fund is also 0, 1, 2?
Yes.
And that is confirmed upon authorization?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the amount of the Charter School Growth Fund amount?
So $250,000 per year.
Okay. And do you have to apply for that every year, or?
No, once you are a portfolio member, you have access to those funds and additional funding based on performance and meeting those metrics.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is around facilities. And so kind of at least from the amended application, it looked like you all were still looking at multiple facilities. Based on today's presentation, it looks like you've identified the church that you have submitted the letter of intent to house the school. So can you provide an update on, number one, where things stand with facilities? You also mentioned a construction timeline. I'd like to understand in more detail what exactly is a part of that construction that's needed.
Yes. So to verify, 102 Ridley Street is the location that we are pushing to be in for year one. And beyond, up to 3 to 5 years based on viability. So that's where we're planning to be. In terms of construction, as you can see with the timeline, it does have existing security equipment. During the walkthrough with our facilities task force, Linda Stubblefield with Unlimited Security did do a comprehensive evaluation of that security equipment that's in place. And all it requires is an upgrade to the existing equipment that's already there. In year one, there's about 15,000 square feet that we have access to on the first floor. And we only need 10,000 square feet of that space that would be open to us. In terms of the renovations and constructions that needs to be there, they are minimal. We do need to create a security entrance space at the main entrance of the building. But in terms of those are things that we are considering. Of course, there are talks about the storm shelter. We know that that's a big idea to consider. And that's why we have Josh Fulmer on our team to help us to think about, a plan B should we need to move forward in a different way. But then also we are working to see what those permits are going to provide us with in the negotiation and process of our facilities option. We are also, we learned about 2 weeks ago that there is an opportunity to have funding to support the building of a storm shelter through FEMA. And so we're exploring where that option or where that funding would come from, and it varies by state by state. And so Josh Fulmer is going to be influential in helping us to find out more information about that. But we have considered all of that in terms of the funding options with the contingency plans that we have in place for funding.
So of the funding that you've discussed for pre-opening, what do you estimate that you currently know to be the renovation costs required, and what funding source would cover those renovation costs?
So based on what we've talked about, because we are in the phase of feasibility study and all of that with Ethan Levine, a very conservative amount would be $500,000. And that gives us access to only using the 10,000 square foot space that we need in year one on the first floor.
And so would there be additional construction costs as you build out?
Yes.
Okay.
As we build out, then we would have additional facilities renovations.
Okay, and how much square footage does the building have in totality?
North of 30,000 square feet.
And you said that would probably take you to years 3 to 5,
Yes.
and then you would have to look for another location.
Yes, and we are in the process again with Josh Fulmer thinking about where our forever home would be after being in this space.
Okay. So I wanted to shift now to your proposed plan to pay teachers and staff. As you noted, there is a plan for the school to run an extended school year, so actually to probably go an additional month of school. However, your pay scale was generally in the same amount as Rutherford County Schools teachers. So considering that we are in an incredibly tight hiring market, what and how will you recruit teachers knowing that you will also be operating an extended school year and an extended school day?
So we do have someone on our team, Trevani Mackey, who has an extensive background in HR personnel. And so she will be helping us to think about our compensation package enhancements as we reevaluate and look at salaries above the market rate. Also, we have in our budget performance-based increases, as Mr. McCann shared earlier. We did make sure that we accounted for that in our budget as we're going to give those performance-based bonuses to our staff members because of their performance towards academics. Also, we would consider signing bonuses as well in high-needs classrooms and subjects, not just at large, but just specific positions where we need to fill a position to make sure that we have a high-quality talent in those positions. The other thing is comprehensive benefits package as it relates to competitive benefits. We will offer a strong benefits package to include health insurance, retirement plans, and paid time off. And then also, our long-term goal is to be in a space where we can provide tuition reimbursement and professional development to offer, especially for our teachers and residents who need support, maybe paying for a praxis exam or taking a class to secure their certifications completely. Also, we've considered work-life balance, time for collaboration and planning. As you can see, we do have early dismissal on Wednesday, but it does not sacrifice the number of minutes that students need for each week to continue throughout the entire year. So that means that teachers are not working past the extended hours during the day. They're working through that chunk of time for professional learning and development throughout the school day. So we factored all of those particular things in there. Also recognizing our teachers. We talked about making sure that they feel known, loved, and respected. And sometimes it's not just the pay, it's the experience within the building as well. And then the two-teacher model, which will reduce the individual burden on teachers and giving them a chance to collaborate and share with the workload in creative ways.
Thank you. I did want to ask a follow-up question around the pay incentives and the signing bonuses. Kind of going back to knowing that your budget is extremely tight, what sort of adjustments would you have to make in your budget if that would be a tool that you would have to utilize?
So currently, those tools are already included in our budget. However, if we notice that we need to add additional funding for those things, then before we make any sudden changes, we are going to meet with our finance committee, come up with a plan. Also, we have, again, our philanthropic supporters who will support us in knowing that these are things that we're putting in place to support our academic program. And then, of course, we'll go before the board for approval to say that this is something that we can do so that we're not at a deficit within our entire budget.
Thank you. And my last question was around startup timeline, but your presentation at the beginning provided a very detailed startup timeline, so I just want to turn to my colleagues. Anything else that we need to cover? Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for those answers to those questions. We are now going to move into public comments, and so we are going to post the individuals who signed up for public comment. The first, we will recognize individuals who are speaking on behalf of supporting the school district's decision to deny the application. I will read the first and last name of the individual, and we will ask you to come up to the podium to speak. You will have up to 2 minutes to speak. When you come up, please identify yourself by name, and as well as if you're a community member, an elected official, a parent, whatever it is that who you are, so that you clearly state whether or not you're speaking in support of the application or in support of the district's decision to deny. Once again, I want to remind everyone that we are accepting written comment on this appeal for the next week. We would encourage you to see a member of the commission staff here today or the back of the agenda if you would like to submit a written statement. All statements, both those written as well as the public comments in this recording, are provided to our commissioner as a part of their review of the record. We do need all written statements by Monday, September 16th at 2024 at 1 p.m. Central Time, so a week from today, to be included in my executive director's report as well as included in the commission's record. So we are going to start with Kathy Lewis, Isaac Dickey, and Kelly Bond. Those individuals are here. They can come up to the podium. Yep, come on up. Just introduce yourself and you'll have up to 2 minutes. Just make sure the mic is on. You can talk into it. Yep.
Hello?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Leanne Lewis. My daughter attends Rutherford County Schools, so that's why I'm here speaking today. I am here to speak on behalf of our public schools in Rutherford County and urge you to deny the appeal of Novus Smart Academy. And I know that our school district has been here speaking on this subject as well, but I think the core issue is the funding model. Charter schools like Novus are funded based on projections, while our public schools are funded on last year's numbers. And this means that even before charter schools pull additional resources from our district, the public schools are already essentially underfunded. This system it's not fair. It penalizes public schools and leaves them scrambling for resources that they need in order to provide a quality education to our children. Our board, composed of elected officials who understand the needs of our community, voted against Novus Academy because they recognize the strain that this funding system places on our budget. They're tasked with protecting our public schools, and their decision is now being overruled potentially by a state-level board, removing local control and ignoring the financial impacts that this could have on our students. And these concerns aren't theoretical. We've already seen the results of this system with Rutherford Collegiate Prep, which was approved against the will of the local board. The school has struggled so badly that students are enrolling back into public schools before we've even been able to reconcile the funding. So this puts more pressure on a system that's already stretched too thin. At the heart of this issue are our students, our children, who deserve a good education. And I don't know how we can possibly provide that in our public schools when we're taking underfunded schools and stripping away more funding to support charters that are failing to meet expectations. Our public schools are the backbone of our community, and by continuing down this path, we are setting them up to fail. I urge you to listen to the voices of our elected school board, the concerns of our administrators. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bond. I'm an 8th year teacher. I work for Rutherford County Schools. So my first year, I was originally hired to work for Blackman Elementary. I was displaced at work at Browns Chapel, as many families used their choice to choose a charter school. As time went on, parents chose to bring their children back to Rutherford County schools. This leaves our schools under stress, as 1 week after I left Blackman Elementary, my class roster went from 15 to 19. Our school enrollment is skyrocketing, as apartments are being built and people are choosing one of the most amazing districts to grow and nurture their children. Browns Chapel is experiencing enrollment of about 5 new children per day. One of our elementary schools is currently at capacity and can accept no more children. As Francis Rosales says, when it comes to funding, Rutherford County schools are only allowed to look backwards to the previous year's projections, when charter schools are allowed to go on predictions. This requires us to give a portion of our funding to them, and my question is, what happens to the funding after the kids come back from the charter schools 2 weeks later? Do they retain the funding? Are we fronting the cost? I can and will buy these students whatever they need. I will love them like they're my own. I've worked alongside some of the best people that I know and will stop at nothing for these kids. But what I can do as a teacher is pay another teacher's salary, buy portables, and front those costs. So my question is, when are we going to stop giving funding to charter schools when our public educators are struggling? We need more teachers. We need more buildings. We don't have the funds to do that. What can we do with $10 million more dollars?
Thank you. And then I'll also call up Kristen Jansen, Rhonda Coleman, and Sarah Harper.
Good afternoon. My name is Isaac Dickey, and I'm a current resident and student here in Rutherford County. Charter schools have been touted as innovative educational institutions, but that could not be farther from the truth. Charter schools do not have the academic results that many people falsely claim they do. As a student at Central Magnet School here in Murfreesboro, I have learned what great research can find. Let me share some of my findings about charter schools. Charter schools do not have the high rate of academic success that some people think they do. Nashville Collegiate Prep, which is run by the same people that run Rutherford Collegiate Prep, which has been a failure, has an average grade level mastery of just 23.1%. That is 15.1% lower than the average grade level mastery across the state of Tennessee. My research has also found that charter schools cause a lot of turmoil in the lives of students, the people they are meant to be benefiting. At Rutherford Collegiate Prep, the assistant principal left before the month of August even concluded. Many parents were in shock when they found out right as the school year was starting that it was a group learning environment, something that was not previously told to them. These parents were lied to about the product they were getting. Parents were told that student-to-teacher ratios would be just 15-1. This was a lie as parents found out that there were student-to-teacher ratios of over 20-1. This problem was made worse just a couple weeks ago when multiple fourth grade teachers walked out and quit, a thing the school attempted to hide from parents. Charter schools are not a benefit, but rather a detriment, and I hope that you all vote against another school that will just cause parents, teachers, and students distress. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sarah Harper, and I'm a parent in this district. My children attend Walter Hill School, and both of them have special needs. I want to express my number one concern. Even though our schools do an amazing job, they do so on an already underfunded budget. To approve this appeal would mean taking even more money from our district's budget. We need more funds in our schools, not less. Our charter schools budget is based on anticipated enrollment, not actual enrollment, yet our public schools budget is based on previous enrollment. As Rutherford County continues to grow, there's an increase in enrollment year after year. Even though our enrollment numbers are higher, we are supposed to operate on a budget based off of last year's numbers. And this school year, we are operating on an even lower budget due to having to hand over $11 million plus to the 3 charter schools already in this county. These charter schools have our district's budget hemorrhaging. This will have lasting negative impacts for our district, including, but not limited to, more overcrowded schools, which is only an issue due to having to hand over a good chunk of our budget, and not being able to build more schools when needed. Rutherford County Schools is a wonderful district with amazing schools. Some of the top schools in the state are right here in our county. Please stop allowing these charter schools to come in and take more of our budget and have a negative impact on our schools and our students. I know I don't speak just for myself when I say not Rutherford County and not our budget. Please deny this appeal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Coleman, and I have a daughter that is a student here in Rutherford County. And I support Rutherford County's decision to deny the application. America's public school system is based upon a promise to all America's children that we value highly equitable opportunities for all children and that all have an equal shot at success. Charter schools like Novus Academy seek to take this promise away by siphoning public funds from truly public schools that accept all students and replace it with a system that rewards privileges and encourages social, political, and economic segregation. Government cannot create and run two schools for the price of one. Therefore, an unneeded school depletes already scarce taxpayer funds. Charter schools create segregation both racially and economically because they only serve selected students from the community, yet everyone must pay for it, even if they are denied entry for their children. Charter schools have been proven since the 1990s to accomplish no better educational results than actual public schools, and in many instances, worse academic results. Charter schools obviate local control. Local school boards should be in control of which schools operate in their area, as proximity to community problems create the best solutions. Charter schools are not subject to the rigorous financial oversight that real public schools are. This lack of oversight has created massive fraud in many states, and redress of those monies is usually not accomplished. The educational experience of school is so complex and opaque that there has to be some trust between the community, teachers, and the schools. Charter schools weaken this trust by their lack of transparency in operations, lack of financial reporting, and compared to public schools in selective enrollment. Novus Smart Academy cannot be run without impoverishing the public school system. Our public school system needs more investment, not less. You cannot run two schools for the price of one. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Leah Matlin, Harry Jones, and Chris Warren.
Hi there. I'm Leah Matlin. I'm a Rutherford County resident and the proud parent of a recent RCS high school graduate. Today, I am here to ask you to deny the appeal of Novus. I'm not here to speak against Novus itself, but rather to speak out about the flaws and how the state of Tennessee approaches the addition of charter schools to our system. As you have heard from others, the state of Tennessee's educational funding model is unfair to our public school system, and Rutherford County is uniquely affected by this as the fastest growing county in our state. However, there is something else that I believe needs to be carefully considered by this commission before it renders its decision. My question for you is this: can the state of Tennessee adequately oversee the charter schools it approves when it overrides the decision of local authority? Sadly, we have already had a taste of what that oversight could look like. This school year, the residents of Rutherford County have watched as the first commission-approved charter school in the county, Rutherford Collegiate Prep, opened its doors. By any measure, the opening of RCP has been a disaster. On the very first day, multiple children were lost by the school for hours as parents became increasingly frantic. One parent referred to the day as apocalyptic. Other parents of autistic children, I am a mother of an autistic child, so this is particularly horrifying, were called to pick their children up because the school could not deal with behavioral issues. Unfortunately, it seems that the challenges have not ended. As of today, it is my understanding that all original fourth grade teachers, along with the vice principal, have quit. Parents have been pulling their children out of RCP, with many of them putting their kids back into RCS. All the while, RCP is not transparently communicating with parents, going as far as deleting social media posts. Who is overseeing this? Who is going to hold this school accountable? And who will hold other commission-approved schools accountable? Please deny this appeal.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Warren. I live in School District 6. I'm the pastor of the First Cumberland Presbyterian Church on East Main Street in Murfreesboro, and I'm also representing SOCM, the statewide organizing for community empowerment. And I speak today to support the Rutherford County School Administration and the Rutherford County School Board in their denial of the Nova Smart Academy charter school application. My opposition to this charter application is not specific to Nova Smart Academy. Having seen some of their plans, having seen more of them today, if any charter school should be approved, particularly if any should be approved by overruling the county school board, maybe Novus would be a good option. But I don't think any new charter school should be approved, nor do I think any school should be approved against the wishes of the school board. We have a system right now that is designed with all our county's students in mind. Both of my children graduated from Rutherford County Schools. They're both very successful in college right now. So I've seen our schools at work. Now, this system has one of the highest levels of success in the state, while it's ranked 117th out of 146 school districts in state funding per student. With charter schools, we'll just be taking more funds from the system that's already designed and running. This will mean fewer resources per student for county schools. There's just no way around that. I have an old truck. It's got some blemishes and needs some maintenance. If I use the funds I have to fix it up, it's going to serve me for a long time. If I take those funds and I try to go get something new, my truck's going to continue to fail and I won't be able to get my new ride. Our school system needs all its funds for the students of this county. We need to maintain our current system instead of taking funds from our existing schools. Charters are not going to make a dent in the overcrowding issue we have. But millions of dollars going to other schools will make any issues in our existing schools worse. Please do not overrule the will of the school board in this case. In a similar case, their decision was overruled with less than ideal results. Please don't make the same error twice and put our county schools at a further disadvantage. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, before we move on, I just want to make sure Kristen Jansen and Harry Jones are not here. Okay, we are now going to move on to individuals who've signed up to speak in favor of Nova Smart Academy. I would like to call up first Mariah Phillips, Colette Gunter, and Tavarius Grimes.
My name is Mariah Phillips, and I have 5 children go through Rutherford County Schools, my youngest being a senior at Central Magnet. We moved to Rutherford County with all of our children in 2006 because of the fantastic opportunities that the schools provide for the students. I'm a former teacher here with a master's in educational leadership. I have my administrator's license, and I was well recognized as a teacher of the year in our school system and across the state, and I've been a very vocal supporter and advocate for public education over the years. So you may be wondering, as many in this crowd probably are, why am I standing here in support of this charter? Well, because like it or not, charter schools are here, not because of the decision made by our board, but the insistence of our governor and state legislators. I don't like this process. I don't like the funding formula the state has in place for charters or for traditional public schools, but charter schools are here. So if they're here, I want to make sure that the charter schools we have in our county are the best we can bring, supporting values that align with the overall values of RCS, to empower students to seize opportunities in the future. Nova Smart Academy will deliver on their promises because they have the research to back it up. On their board, I'm proud to admit, is my sister, Dr. Marissa Kanata, who's an internationally recognized expert in school and student success. She's spent her career researching, developing, and implementing school improvement plans. Her data-driven approach ensures that when Nova Smart Academy opens, they will have in place a standard of excellence based on school success around the world. The wide range of experience, expertise, and backgrounds of the founding board make it especially equipped to create a school that will instill values into every aspect of their work. Hiring and training a diverse staff will ensure the families in the targeted area of Smyrna and Laverne will be engaged stakeholders in their children's school. The 2-teacher model will allow for every child to get the attention they need, so they are excited about learning every day. My support for Nova Smart Academy is based on my knowledge and understanding of what children need, and the confidence that Novus will deliver on that promise.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. How are you? Good. My name is Colette Gunter. I'm a resident of Rutherford County. I've had 2 daughters that graduated from Smyrna High, and I currently have a grandson attending Smyrna High. As a grandparent, I come to you today with a heartfelt appeal. Having watched both my daughters and now my grandson navigate their way through the public education through Rutherford County Schools, I've seen improvements that need to be made. Now, as I'm getting ready to see my youngest grandson start kindergarten here in Rutherford County, I'm concerned about his educational journey. I'm filled with hope and excitement for him to experience the unique opportunities that Nova Smart Academy promises to bring to this community. Nova Smart Academy is more than just a school. It's a beacon of joy and change in how they approach education. With its focus on personalized learning in a nurturing environment, Novus stands out by having 2 teachers in every classroom, by deeply involving families and the community in the educational process. This innovative approach is vital for the growth and development of our children, and I'm confident it will offer my grandson the support and stimulating environment that he needs. The tailored learning styles at Novus are designed to meet each child's individual needs, creating a space where every student can thrive and achieve their best. The close-knit community we already have, coupled with strong partnership, will ensure all our children and grandchildren receive the encouragement and support they deserve. In essence, Novus Smart Academy is not just a school, but a catalyst for excellence and a positive change in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. After Mr. Grimes, we're going to have Paula Collette, Charles Frazier, and Regina Verdon.
Good afternoon. My name is Tavarius Grimes. I am a resident of Rutherford County. I'm a founding parent of Nova Smart Academy. I stand before you as a Black father, deeply invested in the future of the community of our children. My heart is deeply filled of hope and anticipate as I speak about something very close to my heart, seeing Nova Smart Academy open its doors. As a father, I want nothing more to see my son and other children thrive in an environment that truly supports their nurturing potential. My experiences have shown me the need for more inclusive and supportive educational spaces, especially for our Black and brown students. I've seen firsthand how critical it is for our children to see role models who look like them and who understand their unique challenges and strengths. Dr. Sager and others like him embody the kind of leadership and commitment we need in our schools. His presence, his dedication are a testimony to the kind of positive impact Black men can have in our educational system. Nova Smart Academy is not just a school. It represents a chance for change. It offers vision and education where our children can see themselves reflected in their teachers, where their cultural background and celebrate and their educational needs are met with the utmost care and understanding. It promises to alleviate overcrowded classrooms, allowing for more personalized attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Paula Colick, and I am the chair of the board of directors for Nova Smart Academy. And so it's a profound conviction that I come here today to speak for Nova Smart Academy. As a government board, I have the privilege of witnessing the tireless decisions and all the passion that's gone through getting them to this far as they present to you today why Nova Academy should be in its existence. The dream of opening the doors of Nova Smart Academy are within reach. The dream is where we all share our vision and our hope for our children for tomorrow. We believe in the boundless potential of every child who will walk through those doors. But more than that, we believe in the leadership that will guide them. The leadership embodied by Dr. Sager. He is passionate about this. He's driven, and he has the education and the experience to make it happen and bring the vision to life. His passion for creating the environment where children can thrive and match only by his expertise and the experience of making the vision reality. We are confident that under his leadership, Nova Smart Academy will become a model of what education should be like and what it should look like in the 21st century. Our role as a board is to ensure that the governance of our school is as strong and forward-thinking as the leadership that's guiding it. Our amended chapter application for the Rutherford County Schools said they met and exceeded those standards when it comes to academics plan and design, operations plan, capacity and financial plan and capacity. As we embark on this new journey, I want to assure you that we are fully competent and committed to this responsibility. We will be diligent, thoughtful, and proactive when it comes to governing Nova Smart Academy.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Charles Frazier. I'm a parent, business owner, and resident of Rutherford County, and the proposed vice chair of Nova Smart Academy's Board of Directors. As the vice chair of the Board of Directors, I'm someone who's deeply interested and invested in the fiscal health and stability of Nova Smart Academy. I stand before you with a profound sense of responsibility and optimism. I am hopeful that we will be authorized to serve this community. So we are about to embark on an incredible journey as we launch this school. We hope to go beyond just the academics. What we want to offer a sanctuary where children can come in and just truly thrive. We are just so confident in the leadership that Dr. Sager provides for us. He's not only just a driving force for our collective mission. He possesses both passion and practicality. This whole thing about not letting children whose parents can't afford daycare go for the summer, that's innovative. That is something that not everybody is doing. But he knows what it's like as a young black man to be home as a key latch kid or whatever you call them. And so he's taken those experiences and he's folded it in to what he's proposing for Nova Smart Academy. So again, I just want to have us understand that his leadership is only just one part of this equation. Our responsibility is going to extend way beyond us just opening these doors. Just like Ms. Colick has said, we have met or exceeded the standards in all three parts of this application. We understand our fiscal responsibility. We plan to do what we have to do to ensure that Nova Smart Academy is not a burden on this county.
Thank you. And after Ms. Verdon, we're going to go to Celeste Davis, Jantrice Johnson, and Marisa Kanata.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Regina Verdon. I'm the Executive Vice President from Motlow State Community College, where we have a vibrant and growing campus located in Smyrna. I'm a board member with a focus on the academic oversight for Nova Smart Academy. I've chosen to come alongside Nova Smart Academy due to the school's mission to be college and career focused, developing students to make a positive impact on society. On behalf of Motlow State Community College and as a representative of our president, Dr. Michael Torrance, I'm also presenting a letter of support from Motlow State, which I have here and was also included in our charter application. Motlow supports local schools with dual enrollment and early college opportunities, graduating more than 90 students annually with their associate's degree prior to graduating from high school. In the future, we hope that Motlow will be able to provide dual enrollment and early college options for students at Nova Smart Academy, or at least provide them the pathway to get there as the school grows to meet the demands of the community, significantly lowering the cost of education for our students. I believe that high-quality education is vital to the life and economic prosperity of our community. I also believe that school choice is important as every family has unique needs. As an educator, I support the rigor and the college and career focus of Novus. As a parent of children who attended a charter school, I believe in the benefit that parent choice can offer our community. Thank you for your consideration on the approval of Nova Smart Academy's charter application for appeal. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Celeste Davis, and I'm a resident here in Rutherford County, and I'm the proposed secretary for Nova Smart Academy. I stand before you today as a concerned and disappointed parent who deeply believe in the power of education to change lives. My family for years have tried to get our kids in magnet schools, and we've been waitlisted over and over and over again. But overcrowded schools, classrooms, and district-wide rezoning has made this dream impossible year after year. I can only imagine how this impacts families of underserved communities. I'm so passionate about this, I ran for office at the county level and at the city level, just so I can make something happen. I even became a substitute teacher. I taught in several Rutherford County schools, as well as the magnet schools that I was trying to get my kids into, in hopes to get them in school with no avail. At the end of the day, we need more choices. Right now, it breaks my heart that my son, he struggles every day because most of the kids in his class speak Spanish. And with the lack of support and language barriers, it's hard for him to connect with his peers and with his teachers. So right now, I feel like it's just out of reach for him to do exactly what he needs to do. That's why I'm passionate about Nova Smart Academy opening. I chose to be on this board because I believe families need more choices. Right now, our amended application, it met everything they asked us to do. I believe that no child should be left behind, and I believe in the vision of Dr. Sager and the vision of Nova Smart Academy. This school is not just about academics. It's about creating community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jantrice Johnson, and I am both a proud resident of Rutherford County and a member of Nova Smart Academy's Board of Directors and Facilities Task. For me, this is deeply personal. In 2018, my family made the decision to adopt rather than to have more biological children. We welcomed a 5-year-old girl named LB from the DCS foster care system. She came to us with the scars of abandonment and trauma, but we were determined to love and support her through her transition. At the time, our oldest daughter was attending Thurman Francis Art Academy, but our options for LB were limited. We were zoned for a large public school that, while wonderful in many ways, simply wasn't the right fit for a child like LB, who needed more attention, more inclusion, and more emotional support. Thurman Francis was not an option for her because she wouldn't test in, and the cost of private school was prohibitive because, especially as we were already dedicating financial resources to her care and well-being. This lack of choice is what led me to join the board of Nova Smart Academy. Today, I stand here to fight for the other LBs in Rutherford County. Parents like me need options, and our children deserve schools that meet them where they are academically, socially, and emotionally. Nova Smart Academy offers that choice. We have a vision for a school that is responsive to the needs of all students, a focus on personalized learning, and a commitment to helping children discover their unique talents and strengths. By approving Nova Smart Academy, you're not just approving a school, you're giving families like mine and countless others across the county a choice and a chance for their children to be seen, to be heard, and to flourish in a school that is designed with their needs in mind. Thank you for your time and consideration, and thank you for supporting the educational choice in Nova Smart Academy.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Marissa Kanata, and I am the proposed academics chair for Nova Smart Academy. I am also a professor of the practice of education policy and school reform at Vanderbilt University. My scholarship has focused on teacher careers and professional learning in both traditional public and charter public schools. Through this scholarship, I have learned a lot about how to develop effective school cultures for teacher and student growth. And in particular, I've led studies on how to effectively start New Start charter schools in Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida. It is through this lens that I was first introduced to Nova Smart Academy. From the very first interactions I've had with Novus, I was struck by a clear need for more high-quality educational options in the Smyrna and Laverne areas of Rutherford County. I also believe strongly in the Novus mission of high-quality academic instruction that fosters a love of learning, embraces innovation and creativity, and encourages personal growth to make a positive impact on our society. There are two features of the Novus model that I want to highlight in particular, as they are critical to what is unique about Novus and will ensure it will have a strong start. One is the two-teacher model. By having 2 teachers in every classroom, one fully certified teacher and 1 teacher resident, we achieve a student-teacher ratio of 12:1. This approach builds in small ratios to provide instruction that is differentiated for the needs of individual students, as well as providing a collaborative and supportive environment for teachers. The other feature I wanted to highlight is the professional schedule for teachers. Educational leaders know that the best professional development for teachers is collaborative, ongoing, and active. Our schedule builds in time for professional learning throughout the year, including weekly collaborative time on Wednesdays and weekly observations to include feedback and coaching for teachers. As someone who cares deeply about both student and teacher learning and growth, this is what attracts me to Novus, gives me confidence that it has what it takes to provide a strong start and rigorous instruction to help all students succeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Howard let us know she is not able to attend, so that concludes our public comments for this hearing. As a reminder, we will accept written comments for the next week, and we do encourage you to provide any written comments for the record. We are now going to move into closing remarks. We will recognize first the local Board of Education and then the sponsor for up to 10 minutes for your closing remarks. So I want to recognize Rutherford County Schools first.
Thank you. I'd like to start my closing statements by making it clear that the Rutherford County Board of Education is not in any way anti-charter. Matter of fact, they support parent choice in how and where their children are educated. School choice options are very, very important to them, and they're an important part of my job as well. Right now, Rutherford County Schools offers numerous choices for parents and students, to include 3 magnet schools, very high performing, by the way, an MTSU laboratory school, multiple high school advanced academic programs, including the Laverne High School Early College at Motlow program you heard Dr. Verdon talk about, a virtual school, 2 approved charter schools with seats available, and numerous elementary and middle school programs that are theme-based, whether it be STEM, career development, or the communication arts. All of these options are open to every student in the Rutherford County School District. In addition, Rutherford County Schools Public has not demonstrated strong support for an additional charter school. As we saw earlier, 72% of the respondents to our public survey for the Novus Smart Academies application indicated they are not in favor. There is a concern that there could be some charter oversaturation in the area of Smyrna and Laverne that could result in enrollment challenges for the school. Rutherford County Schools leadership and school board worked tirelessly with the County Commission to develop a very bare-bones budget that will adequately fund our schools while still respecting the taxpayers of Rutherford County through efforts to restrict any increase in local taxation. Rutherford County Board of Education feels additional charter schools would require funding supports that are not manageable with the current level of funding provided by the County Commission and the state of Tennessee. It could ultimately result in a reduction in critical supports provided to our students and their families. And Rutherford County has traditionally been one of the highest performing school districts in the state, and that is due to those strong supports provided to both our teachers and our students. And as we pointed out earlier, the addition of charter schools so far has resulted in no reduction in expenses for our schools. Yet still, $25 million has impacted our budget heavily. Ultimately, the school board is at odds with the state of Tennessee's method of funding both traditional public schools and charter schools. We feel the playing field is not level, with charters receiving funding based on their projected enrollment, while traditional public schools are funded on prior year's enrollment numbers. For most districts, that would not present a problem, where student enrollment is relatively consistent. However, but for a district like Rutherford County, a fast growth district that expands by over 1,000 students each year, that model is simply not feasible. The addition of an additional charter, even one with a slow growth model such as Novus Smart Academy, adds an additional burden on the funding budget that is not acceptable to the Rutherford County Board of Education. They respectfully request that the Commission honors their decision to deny the Nova Smart application for this year. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Nova Smart Academy for your closing statement. You have up to 10 minutes.
To the members of the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission, its review committee, supporters of Nova Smart Academy, and non-supporters of Nova Smart Academy, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment in this journey, a journey rooted in the belief that every family deserves access to a high-quality public school that reflects their values, meets their needs, and supports the growth of their children. Yet today, I stand before you to address the unfortunate decision made by Rutherford County Schools to deny our amended charter application and Nova Smart Academy's decision to appeal with the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission. Now, let me be clear. Rutherford County Schools' decision was not based on the quality of our application. It was not because we lacked the vision, the resources, or the expertise to deliver an exceptional educational experience. This decision was made due to concerns about fiscal impact, because of the perceived strain that Nova Smart Academy might place on the district's financial resources. And I ask you, is that a good reason to deny the children of this community the opportunity to thrive otherwise? Are we to let dollars and cents overshadow the dreams and potential of our children? I don't believe so. Nova Smart Academy is here because we believe in giving families a choice that shouldn't be stifled by concerns over budgets or financial forecasts. Families deserve the right to choose the best educational path for their children and not shuffled around the district like a herd when there is room in another school across town at every turn. When did our children's education become secondary to fiscal concerns? I say this not out of frustration, but out of deep conviction. The very heart of Nova Smart Academy is serving the families of Laverne and Smyrna and those who will choose to come from other parts of this growing county, providing them with the high-quality education they deserve, not just in magnet schools. Rutherford County Schools' concern about fiscal impact should never be used as the sole justification to deny high-quality charter school options for families. It should never outweigh the quality of a charter application that meets every standard of excellence. We have done our due diligence, we were amicable, we were receptive to feedback, and we will continue to learn from challenges and grow from this process. We built this school model on the best practices of successful schools across the nation. We demonstrated that we are more than capable of not just meeting expectations, but exceeding expectations. And as Commissioner Hope Oliver stated in her written comment, open quotation, as you review the Nova Smart Academy's application, do so under conditions that ensure transparency, accountability, and an equitable review, close quotation, as done with the other public charter schools approved in this community. Even Mr. McCann, the coordinator of choice in charter schools at Rutherford County Schools, stated that our amended application was solid, with a recommendation from the review committee for approval. Again, we were receptive to feedback and communicated professionally, and the only applicant to make a formal acquaintance before submitting our letter of intent and initial application to the district. Let me say this as well. Yes, we are a startup charter school, but let that not be seen as a weakness. Let it be recognized as a strength, a bold step forward. The Nova Smart Academy Board of Directors believes in this mission so deeply that they've entrusted me to lead as the CEO lead founder. They've placed their credence in the quality of leadership we have built together, and for good reason. Rutherford County Schools also did their due diligence. They looked into my background, and what they found was a track record of success. At Republic Charter Schools, authorized by MNPS, I took a middle school from a TVOS Level 1 to a Level 5 in just one school year. We achieved reward school status, proving that with the right leadership, dedication, and a mission-centered approach, anything is possible for all students. That same year, I was selected as a 2022 change maker by the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools for making a significant difference in my school community. I have proven that I can lead a school from struggle to success, and I am here to start up and achieve success again. But this isn't just about my track record. This is about the hundreds of hours spent studying over 50 public charter schools across this country. Charter schools that have achieved greatness. Charter schools that have unlocked the potential of every child who walks through their doors. Charter schools with startup plans just like ours. And from that research, we have identified the common threads, the strategies that work, and we have woven them into the fabric of Nova Smart Academy. Our mission is clear. Nova Smart Academy is not just another school. It is a response to specific needs of families in this community. Our mission is deeply rooted in the concerns, the dreams, and the desires of the scholars and families in Laverne and Smyrna. We didn't just decide to open a school. We have spent months listening, learning, and planning. We have worked tirelessly with our founding team to ensure we are building something that responds to the needs of this community. And our public speakers communicated and demonstrated this need today. We have aligned our mission with the best, most proven models around the nation. This is about building a legacy that will empower students for years to come, a legacy that will uplift families, and a legacy that will strengthen our community. I understand the concerns of Rutherford County Schools and the complexities of managing a school budget, of managing a system's budget. But I ask you, Commission, to consider what's at stake. Denying this application at this point in our journey is a disservice to the families who are counting on us to deliver an option that works best for them. Nova Smart Academy is not here for ourselves. Mr. McCann and some members of the Rutherford County Schools Board of Directors could see that as well. Our intention has always been and will always be to serve this community as partners in this work. We are here for the families who deserve more, who want more. And so I stand before you today confident that we will build something exceptional, something proportionate for all. Nova Smart Academy, an extraordinary learning experience where college and career begin in kindergarten. Confident that we are prepared to meet the needs of this community. Confident that we will exceed our 150% application goal. Confident that we will meet our budget and acquire additional funding. Confident that Nova Smart Academy will be a beacon of hope, a symbol of progress, and a testament to the power of education to change lives. This is not just about a charter school. This is about choice. It is about equity and opportunity. It is about giving every child, regardless of circumstance, the chance to succeed. And so I ask you to join us, Commission. Join us in fighting for this vision. Join us in believing that every family deserves options. Together we can make Nova Smart Academy not just a school, but a partner and pillar of excellence in this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those closing statements. Before we adjourn and wrap up, I wanted to make a few final reminders. First, if anyone has additional comments on this appeal, you can send them in using the contact information on our agenda or give it directly to the Commission staff. Comments have to be received by next Monday, September 16th at 1 p.m. Central Time to be considered in my recommendation and given to the Charter Commission members as a part of the appeal. The Commission will make a decision on the Nova Smart Academy appeal at a meeting on October 17th, 2024. The meeting will be in person, it will be in Nashville, and it will be live streamed. That meeting is open to the public. Details about that meeting, the location, how to watch online will be available on the Commission's website. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you to the members of the public for being here. We appreciate hearing from everyone. And with no further business on this agenda, the hearing is adjourned. Thank you.